Falling in the Void.
I'm Kaylee.
And I'm Ashley.
And let's see if the void echoes back today.
She forgot her line, guys. We're four
Sorry,
lines in and she forgot her line.
It's called buffering. There was buffer time that I was like, oh shit, it's me. The buffer time, okay? It's a buffer.
Yeah, you're doing great.
Yeah.
But we are two best friends who are going to be diving deeper into the void to talk about chapters 61 and 62 of Iron Flame. Also,
see, this is how you know that we organically start our podcast every single time.
Every time.
But you never know.
We may full organic, candid things that we say.
Yeah. We may change that. You never know. We may record our intro.
We might become very stale and corporate.
Hey, listen. I don't know. I mean, here's the thing. Is like a lot of other big channels have like a set intro.
I feel like people say their intro every time though. Like it's a set like words thing, but not like the ones at least I listen to. It's a set words that they say every time like we do, but it's said every single time. Like they don't have a pre-recorded one. The ones that I listen to at least.
I don't listen to a lot of podcasts. I'm gonna be so for real.
I don't listen to I listen to one.
I don't listen to our podcast.
I don't listen to our podcast.
No, I could not. I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry, guys. I know we're funny, and I know I'd be laughing the entire time.
And I know that I would say, "Wow, that person is making some really good points."
She's done that. We walked in with our editor editing, and
listen. Our editor. So okay, backstory. Our editor plays podcasts and video essays all of the time. Like constantly. I never know what they're listening to, but it's always something. And so I was like, oh, obviously they put something new on their playlist.
Like, wow, how interesting. Because we're in the middle of a conversation because we're always talking. And like we're talking and then always talking. And so, we're hanging out talking. And then all of a sudden Kaylee's like, wow, like I really agree with what you're listening to. That person's making really good points. And our editor's like, it's you.
And I was like, that makes sense. That makes so much sense that it's me that I would agree with. And I'd be like, wow, that person's making such great points.
It was great.
I absolutely agree with that person. They're really, really smart. Like, I really resonate with that.
It's great. But since you're all probably here for us talking about books, we should probably talk about the book.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, these chapters.
I don't know if they're actually here for that.
Yeah, you know what? I know that they're actually not. We don't talk about these books ever.
Ever. We're not 61 chapters into the second book.
Definitely not.
But it does start off.
These chapters are pretty dense in terms of action sequences.
Yes.
So I know
I feel
our
like
review
we're going to go through a summary pretty quickly. Just
yeah.
It isn't. There's not as much like dialogue to dissect, and like there is a bunch of like fighting to dissect and things like that. But get ready, it's going to be a pretty fast one today.
Yeah. So I just want to like pre-warn everybody that like because it's so dense like that in a different way, it might go a little faster, it might go a little slower, or it might feel a little different. But anyway,
exactly. Yeah. So it starts right off with like Violet acknowledging and like, wow, like. My entire family is fighting together because her mom, Mira, I almost said Dane, Brennan, and her are all.
Yeah, because that's going to be her husband by the end of it.
Obviously.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. I just threw up a little bit just thinking about like Dane and Violet.
They're just not great for each other. I know there's some theories of who people should get together, but that's in spoilers. We can't talk about it now. But, and Kaylee's mad about it. And if you don't hear her, like, deep breathing. But, so, like, and it is fun because it's like, we haven't seen that. We've only seen, like, her mom fighting against them, or Violet just fighting, Mira and Violet fighting. We've technically never seen Brennan fight.
Never.
Because he doesn't have a fighting segment.
Well, no, because, I was going to say, no, he's a mender. Like, why?
And so, even then, like, he's not technically fighting. He's...
Yeah.
Going and mending the wardstone, which is probably the most important job.
Yeah.
You have to mend the wardstone. But it is fun to see that dynamic. And also, Andarna shows up, because the Venin aren't there yet. Andarna shows up and is like, I'm going to help you fight. And Violet's like, no.
Yeah, just no. I really don't want you to do that and like risk your life, and especially because like you're so young and like it's just like hard because like even like Riddick and like like they ask like, hey, like does going into battle ever get easier? Like does this feeling ever get easier or better? And she's like, no, it doesn't really get better.
And like Zayden
it's
comes
still
over
hard.
and it's like you just get better at hiding it.
Yeah, like it's still hard, but like she's saying like, you know, to Andarna that it's just not worth it. Like
like you're not worth, and like if something happens to Taryn and I, you need to go.
Yeah.
You need to leave.
To leave and protect yourself.
She needs to, you know, find her own way.
Yeah.
And like, you know,
and it
young.
is
She has so much. She's like 2.
Yeah, it is interesting to know that, you know, dragons can survive without their riders after they're bonded.
Yeah.
You know, and it's hard, and like, you know, Taryn even admits that it's really, really difficult.
Yeah, like because he was bonded to Naolan, and he openly says like that almost killed me when he, you know, when we had to leave, like when he died. And
yeah,
so it's really, really hard. So hopefully Andarna, if that ever happened, would be able to live through that. And you know, her friends are also like, hey, like, is this how it felt in Resson? And she was like, this is a lot worse. Because Resson was 4 Venin versus 7 riders and 4 flyers. And, you know, so they have, like, all of Asgaiath kind of closed off, in quotes, like, already. Everybody has their sections, and they have infantry lined up as the last line of defense. And, like, the flyers
it's like the last line is
lures.
ground defense,
Yep. And we don't hear about infantry very often. We hear about we hear about, obviously, the
scribes more.
But I feel like we hear about healers because of Violet, you know, but we don't get anything really about infantry very often. Which makes sense. All we know is one of Violet's exes is an infantry cadet.
Yeah, a lot of her exes are, which valid. Like in all certain terms, like that's valid. Like, would you want to date?
But also, you're not allowed into the Rider Squadron, I feel like.
Yeah,
like
but
you
it's
really
also
wouldn't be able to.
Yeah, have a real relationship or anything like that. But like, it's also like I don't think. It's also like
I don't think they were having real relationships. I think they were just
fucking around for sure. Yeah, they had teenage hormones. They got to get that out.
Exactly. And so the Flyers are still hunting down like the lures because that's what Jack and like the Venin that he brought in, who we don't know who it is, but whoever he brought in, we're putting lures, and they, you know, are kind of being instructed, and it's very much don't leave your airspace. Like if it goes into another sector, leave it because then you're leaving ours undefended. And you know, Violet also says, and because they're having this pep talk, like don't get caught up in the wyvern.
I love
like,
that you call it a pep talk.
Pep talk. And like don't go for the wyvern, go for the venin and its creator. Like yes, the wyvern attack you and it's easy to get caught up in them, but you need to go for the venin.
Yeah.
And you know, once again, Reed does say like no one dies today.
Yeah, we're all gonna make it to graduation.
Big reoccurring thing. And they all hug.
Yeah, they hug.
They all hug. And they also, you know, tell Violet, like, hey, Asini is here to help figure out what's wrong with the journal. And, like, what went wrong. And if she was
she wants to be close by, so if she finds figures anything out or finds anything different, that she can tell them right away. And Violet's pretty upset about it.
Yeah.
Violet's like, why is she here? She shouldn't be here. She needs to be safe. And I can't remember if it's Ree or Riddick that says it. Okay, yeah. I was like, Ree openly looks at her and says she has every right to risk her life for the cause the same as we do. Like she holds that right. Like we can't, like that's kind of hypocritical of you almost to be like, oh, she can't do it, but you're going to go do that.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's been a big thing for her. She's like, oh, my friends can't know, so they're safe. Zayden can't know, so he's safe. Like, it's a big, big, big thing for her. So it is fun to see the characters kind of like, hey, no, she can do that. She has every right to risk her life. We're risking our lives. Why is it any different?
Exactly. And
And
like,
it's just a big
it's
thing
hard.
for
It's
Violet.
a hard pill for Violet to swallow too,
Very
because
hard.
like it's also like one of those things where it's like, she's fighting with Indarna as well about, her staying safe, and Indarna just keeps saying, well, I will be where I'm needed. Like, I'm going to stick
Yeah.
around almost,
Like, Violet really wants to protect her friends and family, and, like, obviously Dragon's friends and family. And it's a big thing. And it's also really interesting to see her slowly, like, coming to terms with, hey,
Yeah.
they can do what they want. And, and Donna even says, like, dragons don't answer to the whims of humans.
Absolutely not.
Yeah. And, you know, um, she does keep saying, she's like, I'll stand, like, and I'm going to keep watch, but I'm not going to leave you this time. Like, openly, she's like, I'm not going to leave you. And Darna, to Violet.
Yeah.
Like, I can't leave you this time. And, then Xaden and Violet have their moment, and it's like, the world can't exist without you. I don't want to live without you, so, like, don't die. Like, do me a favor, just don't die.
Yeah. I mean, that's valid. It's also when, like, they're meeting, it's hard because they are on the battlefield now. They are, like, basically almost, like, lifting off.
Yeah. So I thought of a spoiler.
I also wrote something down there.
I hear my dogs. But it's also, as they're saying this, he's like, oh, like, Malik can't keep me from you. Like, I'm not going to die. You're not going to die. We're all going to be fine.
Yeah, it like, he says, just focus on you and your life and fighting today. Even Malik could not keep me from you. And, it's just one of those things where, like, that is, first of all, what a sappy man. I love it. Because, like, technically a lot of, like, wedding vows are like, until death do us part. But he's like, nah, we're never parting. Even after death, you're fucking stuck with me. Like, I'll find you in the afterlife and like, be with you forever.
Yeah. And we love that. And so, Violet's mom is, like, creating a storm. And Violet's like, oh, she's trying to hone her best weapon, which is me. Because Violet, as we know, can obviously wield easier in a storm like that. But, like, the downside is griffins can't fly in more than, like, a drizzle.
A drizzle, yeah,
and so
because
they're kind of grounded.
Yeah, because the water is too much on their on their wings, which change the aerodynamics of it, and then they become heavier and they can't fly.
Yeah.
And, it's very similar to birds. Huh?
Yeah. I mean, wow, how shocking. Makes sense. They have, like,
crazy. They have feathered wings?
Oh,
crazy,
I didn't know.
crazy.
And so then they see the horde of wyvern coming. Like, they're visible now, and they're like, oh shit, like, we grossly underestimated their numbers, and there's a second wave still coming. And they're kind of like, okay, we just have to hold out long enough for Brennan to mend the wardstone. And Violet kind of starts panicking, understandably so. I would also panic.
Yeah.
And she's like, nope, I need to stay calm. I'm no good to anybody if I'm panicking. Like, Taryn, my friends, Xaden, everybody, like, and then it's like, even worse, I'm gonna be a liability.
Yeah, like,
And
not
so
only
she
for
has to
her,
calm down.
but also for herself. But, like, she is having such a hard time adjusting to the fact that all of her loved ones are here in one place. Because, we saw it in Erasure where everybody was in the same place, and she was like, oh my gosh, I feel so much love, and I feel so much like this is perfect. Like, and she openly says, like, like, basically she, like, just wants to put a bubble around their world, and is like, just want to keep everybody safe. And literally she's on the battlefield where everybody's risking their lives and everybody could possibly die. And it's just a hard pill for her to swallow because she always wants to take it on alone.
Yep. And she's like, oh, like, why don't we just, like, go attack them on, like, the plains? And not Xaden. Taryn is like, well, they would have the advantage. They're like, here we have the upper hand because we know all of, like, the crooks and grannies, the canyons, the hiding places. We have the better way to have, like, an attack in that sense. And they start spreading out. Like, the venom starts spreading out. And
Yeah.
they're like, oh, shit, they're not just going to the Vale. Because they thought they were going to the Vale and, like, to get the dragon eggs and stuff. And they're like, oh, gosh, like, we have to change our tactics now. And Violet tells her mom to move the storm so she could, like, strike closer to them. And all of the venom change their tactics so quickly. Like, they start flying differently so then, like, under the cloud cover so they're not getting shocked by the lightning.
Yep.
And, you know, Taryn keeps telling her, like, hey, like, yes, you missed, but you need to focus on the next strike, not the last one.
Yep.
Very important. Don't focus on that. Because if you do, everything's going to fall apart.
Yeah. And it's just hard because, like, she's feeling it already. She's feeling the pressure. She's feeling the adrenaline happening. And, like, as she's, doing these strikes, she's still getting frustrated with herself because she's like, oh, I should be doing this. Like, why are they not?
And she's doing a lot better. She's actually hitting things now.
Yeah, she can aim. She can aim a lot better.
So nice. And, you know, she's like, the lightning is my orchestra. Like, she's really getting into it. And she's really, like, the complete difference of her hating her signet to now is very interesting.
Yes.
Like, her, like, this is gorgeous. This is like
yeah, she's accepting it.
Yep. And she's striking down, like, wyvern after wyvern. But there's way too many of them. And now they're, like, fighting head to head. And, like, Violet, like, wields, instead of, like, coming from the clouds, she's wielding it from the ground up so she can hit them where, like, they're not expecting it. Taryn starts attacking the wyverns, and, you know, Violet's like, fuck, like, I need control. I need complete control.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have control, where's that lightning gonna go? It's gonna go literally everywhere but where you want it. And especially because she is such an emotionally driven person, if she doesn't, like, have that control, it's not gonna end great.
Yeah, I mean, and like the venom are coming from like everywhere. Like a wyvern comes out right there and like tries to like bite Taryn's wings, and then you know we see Xaden like basically engulf the wyvern into shadows, and Sigale ends up like killing them, and then
which
Taryn
is
says,
interesting because like she claimed it.
Yeah,
which is interesting to me, like how she claimed that one. Now we have to go find another one.
Yeah,
like but dragons like that's their kill.
Yeah.
Like a lion, I feel like.
Yeah, they're like, oh, like they can tell, like, oh, that one's already marked. Like, let's go, like, find a different thing.
Because we see them so humanoid, if that makes sense. Like, just because we hear them as like
they are very personified.
Thank you, that's the word. And so it's like really interesting to see those really small, like, animalistic more traits where it's like, nope, that one's hers. She claimed it. Yeah. Whereas I feel like happens more in like the animal kingdom rather than ours.
Yes, absolutely.
Not that we're not animals technically, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And
in terms of like nature and killing things, it's not like a big thing,
Yeah. And the first wave was there only to probe for weakness. And Violet sees her friends on the ground kind of struggling, and even though they said like, hey, you need to stay in the air because if they only go down to feed and they're going to drain the ground from underneath you, which we also don't want. And Taryn, and she's starting to panic. She's like, I can't go help. I need to go help. And he's like, focus on the mission or the plan falls apart. You need to trust them to do theirs. And, it's really interesting to me, and I know we're probably going to get into a discussion about it. Trusting my friends to do their part feels a lot like ignoring them too. But he's right. I just think it's really interesting because I guess I kind of see your perspective, but it's also not really. Not that you're ignoring them. You've acknowledged them, said, hey, and then if they need help, you can go help. But that's not ignoring them. You're acknowledging that they're doing a good job. You go do your own thing.
I think the thing is like the idea for her is like I'm going to ignore them because she mentally can't let go of the fact that she can't physically help them, if that makes sense. And so it's like
in her mind it's I need to ignore them.
Yeah, like she has to like let it go and ignore them and not be like overly concerned and not be trying to like intervene all the time. Yeah. In terms of like on the battlefield, I feel like the best way to do it is for her to ignore them and to trust them and to have the faith that they are going to show up and show out and do that. For sure.
Which is, once again, interesting to see how her brain works. In that sense. And then, it's also really interesting because if you've been paying attention, the wyvern have different colored fire.
Yeah.
There's been blue and there's been green.
Mm-hmm.
So that's interesting because I feel like we've only seen blue so far. So it's interesting that green
Yeah,
is
yeah.
coming about.
Mm-hmm. We'll have to like
go back and see the different
yeah.
colors.
Yeah, like also like I wonder if in the first book they mention because there was Wyvern and Resin. I wonder if they mentioned like the color of their fire
I
or
thought it was
something.
blue.
I can't remember. I'm
can't
going to be
either.
honest about it. It's the I cannot remember what color it was in Resin or even if she noted the color.
And you know, so they're flying around kind of trying to find like a thing for them to attack and get ready and fight. And then Violet looks over and notices that Sawyer and I don't remember what his dragon's name is, and it's gonna drive me insane.
What did you have written down though?
Leah.
Yeah, not Lyra is not the name.
So I'm so sorry. I literally, if I read this series, I would not be able to pronounce a single thing.
What is it?
Hold on.
It's not like Sibyllaire.
Sliseag.
That's not Sigil. Oh, I'm sorry. What? Read it again.
Sliseag.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Can I get the definition and the origin of the word, please?
Can they say it out loud?
Me.
Hold on, wait, we're getting in the frame. Sleeg.
Sleeg. That's the name.
There we go.
First of all, that's fucking... It's fine. I'm going to let it go. It's okay.
Yeah. It's
spelled.
Fine. Oh my
nope.
gosh. I'm sending it to you.
No, I know. But like... You know.
That's a lot. Anyway, so like, this is how you can tell who dyslexic people run this podcast.
Listen. That's why we have an editor.
That's true. Hi, Avery. Thanks,
Avery. Hi, Avery. Thank you, Avery.
So she looks over and sees that Saliq and Sawyer are like dying. Like they're being struggling. Really overrun. Yeah, they're struggling. They're being overrun.
They're struggling. There's multiple wyvern. There is a venom, and the venom is like, you know, obviously doing their best to kill Sawyer.
Yeah, and they notice that like they're going to the ground, the venom are, and they're like the only reason they're going down is to feed. And Violet, and now like they're all on the ground. So like they brought Sawyer and Saliq down to the ground. Yeah. And Violet like is trying to shoot the venom. And Taryn's like, you got to be careful. Like, watch where you're shooting because he's literally like, what? Yeah. For me, I'm imagining it so close. And she, you know, was able to do it. She hits the venom, and so they kind of were able to like recover a little bit. And they, they're like, no, like she even acknowledges there's no more venom in this section.
Yeah, but like, you know, as they're going through and as like Sawyer is like, you know, trying to fight off this venom, you know, Violet wants to like jump out of her saddle, but her saddle is stuck.
And she's like really starting to overheat, and she takes off her jacket. Now she's down 6 daggers. And I do
because
really like
she's been, you know, blasting off so many different strikes, and we know that like, you know, when she does it for a long period of time, there is a huge possibility of burnout, and burnout is something that like, you know, nobody wants.
No. And, you know, she like is like, wow, like we're working so seamlessly as a team. Like we work really, really, really well. And, you know, Taryn's like, oh, like you're beginning to think. And, you know, Violet kind of starts to interject. It's like, oh, like Brennan. And then we hear Sigil go like, no, like Taryn. Which I can't confirm nor deny. Was that the first time we've heard her this book?
I don't think that it was the first time we heard her because I'm pretty sure she says like one line in the first half.
She
Like
might.
very, 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 very beginning first half.
I can't tell you. I don't
Like
remember.
I would think that it would happen like in like the first 10 chapters. And the reason why I say
Can't
that
tell
is
you.
because, you know, they're coming from being like from like war games and shit. Like the promotional side of it, you know?
Oh god, I forgot it starts way back there.
Yeah, like so far.
Well, if anybody knows, is this the first time that we've heard Sakale's voice
Yeah,
in this
in
book?
Iron Flame.
In Iron Flame. I
Obviously,
know
we've
we've heard
heard
it
it
in...
other places, but like
Yeah.
specifically in Iron Flame, is this the only one? I don't think there is. I think that there's one more. I don't know where, but there's one more.
I know we hear it in Xanon's chapter.
Well, yeah, because that's his dragon. Yeah.
But, you know, so Taryn starts going after Wyvern and stuff again, because now they're coming back into their section.
Yeah.
And Violet and what are they called? A Venom jumps onto Taryn's back.
Yeah.
And, you know, Violet's like stuck in her saddle. She cannot get
Yeah,
out. And
she's
Taryn's
stuck.
like, what are you doing? Don't get out of the saddle. And she's like, bro, like, if I stay in the saddle, I'm going to die.
Yeah. And like she's just struggling.
Yeah. And then, again, the Wyvern, not the Wyvern, good God. The Venom keeps saying, like, you're the one he wants. You're the one he needs. And he's like, oh, he'll, like, show them all to me very soon. And then Rhee jumps onto Taryn's back.
Yeah. Like
We
a
have not
badass.
seen. We love it. Because we haven't really seen Rhee and Violet fight together.
Sorry. Yes.
And that is the end of chapter 62, which means we're going on to chapter 63. You have any notes to close off that chapter?
Yes. I
You're
just like want to
immediately,
like.
hold on.
Yeah, hold on. Okay, Rhee's doing it really cool. I just like want to say that I feel like Ashley's not necessarily capturing the picture of what Rhee did. How she like, you know, jumped off her dragon as she was like in the air, landing on Taryn, like battle stance over it, and then like killing a Venom.
How great for her.
Like, you know, like very superhero status, like, you know, land. I don't know, for some reason, I'm like, when she lands on the, like, when they land on the dragon, I just picture, like, Black Widow, like, landing, you know?
Amazing. Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like she lands and then, like, the throws, you know, of the knife.
Yeah.
So
For sure.
that's what I picture. And I'm like, I just feel like Ashley didn't capture how cool, like, the ending of that chapter could have been.
Yeah, that's exactly
It's cool. It's
yeah,
cool,
she did
you know?
great. But going into chapter 62.
Yeah.
You know, Violet's really nervous because she's like, I've lost Liam. I can't lose Rhee. Like,
Yep.
I just can't. And Rhee is fighting the Venom, like our beautiful Kaylee said. And Violet grabs a crossbow and gets it ready and shoots the Venom. And Taryn, like, ducks. Kind of like flips, thank you. And the Venom falls off. And Rhee and Violet are, like, hugging onto him so they don't fly off, too.
Yeah.
And then, you know,
And luckily Violet is still strapped in.
Yep. And so then
Because,
Violet...
yeah, her buckle won't let go. It's stuck.
Yep. And Violet hugs Rhee, and Rhee kind of, you know, goes back and it's like, don't die. And we're like, well, yeah. And, you know, Violet tells Taryn, he's like, my saddle is stuck. And he's like, well, good. Maybe you'll actually stay in it this time. And, you know, a loud roar, like, fills above, like, the airspace. And she looks over, and Atrum is trying to help Sleeg because they're, like, overrun by...
Yeah. There's so many wyvern there that the dragons are getting overwhelmed, and, you know, as much as, like, Atrum and Sleeg are, like, doing their best, but you can tell that they're losing.
They're losing. They're getting tired. And they also, like, Violet also openly says, like, Sleeg's not going to protect himself as much as he can because he's trying to protect Sawyer as well. And Violet, like, watches as a wyvern comes up and his, like, engulfs Sawyer's leg up to, like, right below his knee. Like, engulfs it, and Sawyer screams. Obviously, that would really, really, really hurt. And Sawyer, like, the wyvern moves, and now, like, there's nothing there. Like, he literally got his leg bitten off. And Taryn found his way of attack, and Violet finally like unhooks her,
herself,
like unstucks herself, and she tells Taryn like, be there for me, and like be like where you're supposed to,
Yeah.
And Violet jumps off of him and lands on Atrum, and then literally walks across. She gives not Dane. What is with me in names today? She gives Riddick the crossbow.
Yeah.
And then walks across the wyvern, which I think is really, really cool. She walks on Atrum across the wyvern to Sleeg, and she's like holding Sawyer because he's like, like bleeding out. He just got his leg chopped off. And she yells for Taryn, like, where are you? And he's like, where I'm supposed to be, unlike you. And
yeah,
we gotta love his sass in these.
Because like he's like, so you should have been on my back. Like you should have been not here. Like yeah, why are you not here? Like what's going on?
Yeah. And she's like, well, catch us. And like she falls off the dragon with Sawyer because they knew that Taryn
she
would
was
be able
like
to help Sleeg if Sawyer wasn't there.
But not only was Taryn able to help Sleeg, he was able to kill Wyvern so that Sleeg could kill the Wyvern that they were already attempting to kill. Yeah. Because there were so many.
Yeah. And, she does say, she's like, you couldn't be in two places at once, and Sawyer's dragon would not protect himself if he was there.
Yep.
And, so Brennan, they finally hear word that Brennan mended the stone, but he's like, I don't feel hopeful. Like, something's wrong, And, she's, like, yelling, because now they're on the floor, and Sawyer's bleeding out and, like, really struggling. And she's kind of saying, like, you took Liam, you can't have Liam too, or Sawyer too. Like, I need Sawyer here. And she's like, you have to wake up, open your eyes, because he's, like, fainting. He's losing a lot of blood. And she's like, well, we all have to live to graduation. Like, remember? Like, come on, let's go. And then Taryn feels something in the bond. And they both are like, Sigale. And she tells Taryn to go. Like, go to Sigale. Because we don't know what happened, but something's wrong. And she's like, well, Sigale is in danger, so is Xaden.
Yeah.
And that's not great either.
Yeah, because when obviously if Sigale's in danger and Xaden is in danger, that like, with the ties and everything, but also, Violet of course doesn't want to see him die.
No.
It's a big thing.
And Kat and like a couple, I forget who, but a couple others like come and help. And it's Marin. Marin and Kat come. And they're like, what happened? And she's like, he got his leg bitten off, but like, I'll explain later, like, you need to take him to the healers. Like, now. He's bleeding out. Leave. And, and then, like, they're leaving, and then Kat says, like, well, I saw what you did. Well, I was kind of told what you did, and that took guts. Like, that was really cool. And, and Violet does say, like, well, you would have done the same thing. And Kat's like, well, I would have done it faster. And she gives her a dagger, because she's down a dagger now. And
yeah.
I love how she says, I'll look after Sawyer, and don't you dare thank me for that.
Yes, because,
I love that.
Here's the thing is, like, it is, sorry, I am looking at the notes. The notes are just, like, so extensive sometimes.
Yes.
I love that because we finally get to see Kat and Violet interact in a way that is not as hostile.
Yes.
Because we know that Kat says that because she thinks of Sawyer as her squad mate. Like, don't thank me for taking care of my people.
Yeah.
Like, it's the bare minimum.
Yeah.
And I do love, like, the slight dig, too, of, like, what you did was extremely brave. And, when Violet's like, oh, you would have done the same. And she's like, no, I would have done it faster.
Yeah.
I would have done it better, and I would have done it faster.
I do love that. I do love how she, like
there's still like that
have that dynamic.
Yeah.
But it's also, that is their dynamic. And I love
it
how
is
it's still there during the battle, but we see it shift.
Exactly.
There's been a shift. And I think the shift happened when they were fighting together in the cave.
Yeah, I do.
They saved each other, and like you kind of bond from that. And so it's really interesting to see that shift, but it's still somewhat staying the same. I love that. And so, you know, she goes back out and she sees a wyvern or a venin, and you know, she's like, "Oh, you're the one that he wants, and you're the powerful one, aren't you? And the lightning wielder." And so like she's approaching Violet, and thunder booms, and Cat sees her because like Violet kind of looks back to make sure Cat's out of the way. It's like, I don't care about her, but I'm under orders not to kill you, so let's not make this difficult.
Yeah, because like if you think about it, the venin look at Violet as such like a prize, and like we've seen it through this, like both of the chapters, how every single venin that Violet comes into contact with, they all say, "I want her." Like, oh, it's you that the sage wants. And you know, they even look at Cat as weak in this scenario. And like not nearly as interested. And it's interesting to see what goes on, because as Cat is like very much discounted as a quote unquote weak person, you can see within the dialogue how the venin starts to get more and more like heightened, where she's like, I'm going to be the best. He's going to love me the most. I'm going to get her, and like everything's going to be good, and like she's mine, and like I'm going to be recognized. He's going to like really, like I'm going to be promoted. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
And I love how all of that coming out and all of that like heightened dialogue is all because of Cat's signet.
Because Cat ran towards her. And like Violet's like, no, stay away.
No.
And Cat's like, no, like I'm gonna be there.
Yeah,
like, and I love how Cat
we're
immediately
right
comes
here
to her defense. Exactly.
Yes.
And I do love how Violet immediately was like, this is from Cat. What an amazing signet when it's not used on me.
Yeah, because like if you think about it, I know this is like the first time, me and Ashley did talk about this before, but it is the first it is the first time that we see Cat use her quote unquote signet. I'm not quite for sure, like in Griffin terms, I don't know if they call it a signet, but I'm going to keep calling it a signet because we keep saying it because of the writers and things like that.
Yeah.
So I'm still going to call it a signet. If it's wrong, please comment down below what it actually would be called if it's not a signet. But in terms of like Griffins, like writers, we haven't seen them in an actual battle. And so this is the first time we're seeing Cat use her ability and her signet in a battle. And I know that a lot of people may discount it as like her, you know, just being like, oh, she's just able to be petty. But if you think about it in certain terms of like physiologically, like physiology, that word.
Physiologically.
Say it one more time.
Physiologically.
Is that a word?
I think so. Can't tell you.
Physiologically.
Whatever we're trying to say, you know.
I don't know if that one was loaded. But you know, if you think about it in all certain terms of what is something that happens when your system is like dysregulated like that and like so heightened, is you lose a certain sense of control.
Yeah.
So, you know, you lose that certain sense of your control. You're not nearly as sharp. Your thoughts are clouded. You're unable to process things in like a proper way. And I think that here in this battle is just showing how you can really use that to your advantage, even in a knife fight.
Yeah. And it's also like, you know, she's trying to get information out of her. So, you know, this is a really, really helpful thing. Her, Cat and Violet make a really good team for this sense. Because they can get all the information and then kill them on the spot.
For sure.
And so, you know, I just wanted to kind of say what she said because it's quite interesting. And she's like, a wild look comes from the venin's eyes. and I will be his favorite for delivering you. I will be more than an ASIM soon. I will be given the veil when this is all over. And then they're like, you can kill her anytime. She's like, hold on, I need to know what she means by delivering me. And then you will turn for something much more dangerous. It will be me. Me! And then another one comes, enough win. And she kills him. Or sorry, kills Win. And, the other one's like fascinating. And now Xaden's running towards her. And, Terran's like, you need to stay calm. Just breathe.
Yeah.
And I've been spelling Terran wrong this entire time? Okay. Anyway, sorry.
I'm not surprised.
I just been putting the I in the wrong place. Anyway.
Yep.
And, sorry. And they're like, okay.
Slightly taken aback. Like, I didn't realize it had an I. I thought it was spelled with a Y.
And, Xaden's like, I'm on my way. And she's like, they're not going to make it in time. And, they're like, they won't make it. I'm not going to make it. And she's like, I just killed us all. Hopefully Andarna can live. And...
Yeah, because, like, it's there's no possible way that she's going to be able to do it.
Yeah. And then the other Dark Wielder does say, like, he's almost here, so let's move this along, shall we? The Horde's tires of hovering, waiting for permission to attack. And then she looks, and there's, like, a boulder, a cliff moves. And she's like, what? And she's like, no, it's, like, not a shape. And the boulder moves with, like, a silver of gold, with slivers of golden eyes. And then it springs from the cliff like a projectile, expanding, changing colors, sprouting wings and claws, like black scales.
Yeah.
And that's like, where it ends.
Yeah. That's crazy.
So that's chapter 62. And that's why it's like, it's so dense and like a quick read through because it's so much, but interesting because there's so much. But I do think the conversation with the Dark Wielders were very interesting. It's also very interesting to me how they changed from, like, calling them Dark Wielders and Venom.
Yeah. Like, I find it interesting that,
when they're having conversation, it's Dark Wielders. When they're fighting, it's Venom.
Venom, yeah.
I think that's really interesting.
I don't know why that is, though.
I don't either. Maybe because they see him more as human.
Maybe.
Because you're, like, talking with them. You see them face to face. Like, it's very different when you're talking versus fighting.
Yeah.
Just an interesting food for thought.
Yeah.
Do you have any
I've never
other
thought
thoughts?
about that.
I haven't either. I just literally thought about it. I was like, how?
I've never thought about that.
Isn't that interesting?
No. I don't think I have anything else because that is where it ends.
It's true. So yes, if you've come for the non-spoiler section, we're glad to have you. We had such a great time.
Thank you guys for coming. I know that it was short. We really do appreciate it. Make sure to like, subscribe, follow, comment down below if it's not a signet, if it's called something else for a Griffin writer. Also, comment your thoughts and what you guys think is going to happen. If there's anything interesting that you guys think that we missed, let us know. Thank you guys so much for coming. We also have a email list that you guys can sign up for. We're super excited, so make sure to subscribe to that, as well as if you'd like to support us in any type of way. We also have a Buy Me a Coffee link linked in our bio. Any type of support is appreciated. Thank you guys so much. And now we're going to go ahead and jump into our spoiler section. We're very excited. Welcome.
And we always start the same way. And I know
we always start the same way.
A couple of things during the episode.
Yes, so while
I feel like that has been happening recently because we're just like really deep diving the episode and we're like, hold on a second.
And then we start thinking about it more and we're like, oh, okay, yeah.
And I also brought up a good point if you're here just from this spoiler section. But we'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah, we'll talk about it in a second after we do our beginning excerpts.
I wrote it down so we don't forget.
Good job.
Thank you. The beginning excerpts were really interesting this set, I feel like. So the first one for chapter 61 is Though there are some debate, it is greatly believed that turning venom heightens one of the Dark Wielder's senses. It is a scholar's belief that the one responsible for the death of King Grinwild developed keener eyesight, for not even the best of His Majesty's royal flyers could see through the darkness the venom hid within to slay our beloved king. Major Edwards Tiller's unaccredited study of the venom, property of the Library of Corden. Interesting.
Wasn't me. Wasn't one of the of like the six a shadow wielder?
I thought so. I think so.
I mean, if you think about that,
Yeah.
they wielded darkness to the point where other people could not see in.
Yeah. How interesting. And that's what Zayden does. So maybe his eyesight now is like extra,
Well, Zayden says that he can see in the shadows.
starting as a venom, or in general.
No, just in general.
That's true.
Like he can see like what's going on. Like when
it's
he like
interesting
engulfs
that,
it in
like-
shadows. Like he can still see.
Because it says like they develop keener eyesight. So it's interesting in how like the venom get a keener sense. Like something changed. Like their sense is heightened.
I think it's because of the magic in them.
Yeah.
Because like if you think about it, like dragons have keen eyesight.
Yeah.
Griffins have keen eyesight. And it's because of the type of animal that they are, but also as well as like, you know, just the fact that they possess magic like that.
Yeah. And then the second beginning excerpt is the easiest way to defeat a dragon is to kill its rider. Though the creature will most likely survive the blow, it will be stunned long enough to be felled. Chapter 3, The Tactical Guide to Defeating Dragons by Colonel Elijah Corbin. Which is interesting that there's a journal on how to defeat dragons. Have we thought about that? Can we talk about that for a second?
Yeah, no, I was thinking about that and it's
And I was like, why would you need that if you guys are allies like that? You know what I mean? Like, what happened that we don't know? Because it's interesting. It's like they talk so highly of dragons. Like, they would never...
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But
So
we also know that there is and there was some type of war with the dragons because, you know, the Irids no longer participate.
yeah.
You know?
And I know
Like-
that I just read a theory that the Irids are the ones that taught people how to be venom. But yet they're so scared of them. So I don't know. I don't know. There's so much information.
I need more information about the
everything.
About it. I need more information because I don't have enough information to like.
I agree. Because it's so interesting. And also, again, it's interesting that they have a book on how to defeat dragon. Like a full book. Not just like a chapter or two in like defeating venom or something.
Yeah, but I also think they have a full book because like Griffin writers need to be able to defeat dragons.
True.
As well as like for a bit there, like humans were not friends with dragons, but it specifically in this excerpt, talks about killing the rider.
Yeah.
And why it's important to do that first.
Yeah.
So
Interesting.
it is very interesting.
But jumping into the things that we picked up in this, the mallet can't keep me from you.
Yeah.
I promise you they're going to die, but I think they're going to find each other in death, like you said.
Yeah, because like it's one of those things where it's like, you know, everybody says until death do us part, but for Zayden, there is no parting. Death doesn't mean that we are separate.
Yeah.
So,
I agree.
you know,
It's very interesting little...
it's very interesting.
And they say it all the time, you're going to be the death of me. And especially, I need to pick it up more in Onyx Storm on my, reread. But it's the amount of times you need to be the one to kill me. You're going to be the death of me. You need to do... Like, him really being like, you need to do it.
Yeah, Zayden pleads with her multiple times about how, like, it
And it's
needs
also,
to be her.
I think she's going to use one of her daggers and strike the dagger. Only because, if we remember back in Onyx Storm, in the very beginning, she's fighting Bodhi, I think, on the mats. And she throws the dagger and strikes the dagger. And he's like, well, you missed. And then she's like, well, really? Look behind you. It's like, if I wanted to strike you, I would have striked you. Like, I would have got you.
For sure.
And so I think that's going to come back.
Yeah, I also think, like, it's interesting in this chapter that we see it, how, like the Venon's fight goes down, you know? Mm-hmm. How, like, I don't think we actually mentioned it in the review, which we probably should have, about how, like, the what is that called? Conduit. There it is. Me. The
wrist thing. The thing.
Yeah, we've kind of glazed over that part, but how the conduit just disappears.
Yeah, it disintegrates.
And how it disintegrates.
I'm gonna look up to see exactly what happened.
And I just think that, like, that's really interesting because, like, I don't remember her saying that Violet is feeling like anything through the ground or anything. Mm-hmm. So it's like, it's interesting to me how, like, the Venom can choose what they are and aren't draining, you know, like that they can, like, choose something like that. Like, that seems like really skillful.
Fascinating. The conduit flares with an intolerable heat. I drop it, watching it in horror as it disintegrates, leaving nothing left at the end of my bracelet. His hand flips, palm upwards as I lift it off my feet, suspended in mid-air, completely immobilized. I wonder if she was using it too much and it just shattered. But that doesn't make sense either. I
don't think so. I think he took it.
I think that he, like, made it flare really hot.
Yeah.
And dropped it. Yeah. So that's interesting that they can control it like that. Because we, again, haven't really seen the Venon's power. We saw
we haven't.
Bit with Xaden, but it just extended his power. So we haven't seen their power.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And, like, how they are trained differently. And it's very, like, openly stated that they are. So it's just a very... Sorry, I got distracted. I'm so sorry. I got distracted. But it is interesting how, like, that happens, you know?
Yeah. And then this is the first time we see Indarna as, like, a full Irid.
Yeah. Because she finally,
and
like,
it doesn't say it, so we couldn't say it in the chapter.
No, it says it in the next one.
Yeah. And it's, like, it's obvious, but
yeah,
it's okay. And it is fun to see her finally, like, okay with herself, because we know that she's probably had a lot of... No dragon is like her. Like, she's probably having a lot of issues, like, just mentally with that. And that's why she's choosing black.
Yeah, but also it's like she chose black because I do think she feels a lot of similar feelings as Taryn, in terms of, like, you know, if you look at it, like, there's only 2 black dragons right now, and 1 black, like, egg.
Yeah.
Questionable.
But even then, like, there's Taryn and the black egg. And Darna is... Oh, no, because Coda's black. You're right. I'm there.
Yeah.
But I've caught on.
Me, I was like, that's what I was saying. There's 2 black dragons.
Yeah.
And a black egg. So there's 3 altogether.
Yeah.
But it's also like how do you, like...
I don't know.
I have questions. If Taryn and Sigale mate, are they going to have a black dragon and a blue dragon? Like, if they had, like, 2 eggs?
So I was thinking, what if it's a combined 2 color, 1 dragon?
So what, is it, like, turquoised?
Like, swirly. Like...
Oh, like a paint.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah,
We've had this conversation.
Yes, like a paint or a brindle. That's what you're thinking. I don't know. I don't know how that works. It's like, are dragons only ever solid colors?
I don't know. But speaking of dragons, did anybody notice the wyvern fire was different?
I did make a note on it. So I do... I'm going to say this first before I say like my theory. It could be because the wyvern are made by different levels of venom. Like, that like the venom person was like, oh, I'm going to make it to like this level. Like I'm going to make Atrum,
Yep.
So it's do the wyverns fire change because of the level of venom that made them, or something that I kind of thought about and have like a little theory of, does the fire of the venom of the wyvern change because that was the dragon that they used to be? Like that's either the dragons, like for instance, like there was blue fire. Like did this wyvern used to be a blue dragon? Like, did they take either like the bones or a carcass or even like an actual live dragon and make them into?
Yeah. Because it's, okay, so I looked it up.
A
and
wyvern.
On, like, the character wiki thingy.
Yeah.
It says, a wyvern is identified by the color of their fire. There's been, so far, blue, green, and cherry red.
Okay, guys. Those are literally the colors of the fucking dragons.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's so interesting. Because it's like, if it is, like, how... It'd be really interesting if they're grabbing
when
dragon
they say, like,
carcasses,
they're...
because they are physically different. Because wyvern have...
They are.
Feet on their wings, and like they have only two back legs.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's like,
that's
I don't know
why,
if they
like,
could
it would be
change it from a live dragon. I think it is from dragon carcasses.
Yeah. Like I think like that's the thing. But I also feel like we watched Bade.
Yeah.
Like we saw that Bade was different.
Yeah.
In terms of like their eyes. But also it's like the way that those eyes looked, is that the same how the wyvern eyes look? I'm not quite for sure.
I don't know.
Like I don't think they've ever described the eyes of a wyvern.
They just said like, oh,
or
like there's a golden eye looking at me or something. Like,
well, no, that's like in Darna, but like,
yeah.
What, like, I don't know if she's ever described it.
Yeah.
I don't know if the wiki page just says it.
I don't know. But another thing, like, along the same lines of, like, the dragons is, like, how dragons can live past... I know you wrote this one down.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Live past their riders. And griffins can't.
Yeah, because, I mean, Kat did make a point. She openly was like, yeah, they'd never make it.
Mm-hmm.
They
like,
don't.
We've seen it, too.
Yeah, and we've seen it, like, where, like, the griffin was fine. The rider fell off the cliff, and we watched her die.
Yeah.
You know?
So it is interesting how they're just different. They're very different. If that makes sense. But
then it's also like
she's getting ready.
Why is that? Like,
I don't know.
Like,
if a dragon's bond are known for being like one of the most powerful thing ever, why did griffins die with it and not dragons?
Yeah. I also think half of me thinks it's because, like, obviously, like, the magic is different and, like, the power base is different. Like, and even Taryn, like, openly is like, yeah, no, dragons are stronger than griffins.
Yeah.
It's kind of a thing. And it's just kind of a thing that, like, we believe because of that.
That's what we're told.
Yeah. But it's also, like, the idea of what if dragons... like make that art, like it's more of like an artificial bond where griffins are actually able to connect to the earth and other things. Because we haven't really heard, also like another thing is like we haven't really heard of griffin riders turning.
No.
Is that it? Like, is that I find that like slightly interesting that like most of it is riders, but it's also like I know it's hard to say that because obviously we have a biased narrator. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, we don't have like an omniscient point of view. So it's like we're only seeing it from Violet's perspective. And so it's like does it look like that because like are we only seeing the writers die because she is a writer? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Very interesting and a good point. I'm really hoping we get more point of views in book 4.
Sorry, I'm looking up what the eyes look like.
Okay. And the other thing, while you're doing that, the other thing I wanted to mention was like how they really want her so bad. I think we talked about it last week about how maybe Asher's the
so
main.
sorry.
Oh, okay, yeah, go ahead.
See, I'm a little bit just like confused about this description because so they say they have intense and predatory eyes, often described as golden or reflecting light, which is exactly how Indarna's eyes are described.
Interesting.
The description suggests like golden reflections. Many powerful creatures in the series often eyes gleam golden and have golden hues mentions suggesting intensity or danger. So could be something intense focus. Their gaze is sharp and threatening.
Huh.
So that's really interesting to like kind of like think of and things like that.
Yeah.
Also the wiki fandom page, like the picture of the wyvern, I do not agree with. Is that crazy that I'm like I saw the picture and I was like, I don't know if I agree with that.
Yeah, I disagree. Interesting.
Yeah, so like even like the color description for the wyvern, it ranges between white and gray, which makes it easy for them to like hide in the clouds. Oh, they're typically larger than dragons.
Huh.
The largest one seen is even larger than Coda.
Huh. We need more info on these things.
Yeah.
Like, wow, how interesting. But do you agree with the theory that maybe Asher is the sage? Just from how much like he's gonna have a lot of fun, like he's been directed order. I don't know, and I don't know because we've seen him.
I don't think so. This is me. I don't think so because I think it's Warwick and Lyra. That's who.
You think they're the Venom?
Absolutely.
How interesting.
Like, here's the thing.
Warwick. I don't know if it's Lyra. I think Lyra's dead. I think it's Warwick.
I think Warwick probably killed her.
I think so too because I'm so sorry. We're gonna skip ahead. We're gonna skip ahead to the next beginning excerpt. I'm so sorry. This is for chapter 63. You guys are getting a little sneak peek.
I mean, it's spoiler, so.
Yeah, it's fine. I am alone in thinking the knowledge of the wards, the protections they provide should not solely benefit Navarre, and it has cost me everything. Journal of Lyra.
Yeah. I think that it cost her Warwick.
I think that's really interesting and a very interesting beginning excerpt because if it is Warwick, we're going with this theory.
Yeah.
He
also,
didn't
first of all, didn't Warwick control shadows?
I think so, but.
And we see shadows,
love, like you said, and oh god, it's so similar to what's happening if you really think about it. Because Violet wants to protect everywhere. Xaden only wants to protect one place. Xaden is the one that turned, and he's shadows. Warwick did that, and it's going to cost Violet everything.
Yeah, we're watching history repeat itself.
That's
and
the
reason, yes, and also like the other reason why I think that it could be Lyra. Why I think the female sage could be Lyra is because Violet would turn to save everything too.
Yeah.
And that's why.
To do the wards. And but it's so interesting that she's like, well, you're going to turn for something much more dangerous.
Yeah, it's for love.
But not necessarily for Xaden, for everybody.
No, yeah. Like, that's the thing, is
the different mindset of Xaden, I need to protect just Violet, and Sigale, where she's like, I need to protect everybody.
Yeah. But here's the thing is, like, it's the same motivation.
It is.
And it's one of those things where it's like that's where we get into the quorum of love blinds you. Love can kill. Love hurts more than any physical pain. Most of the time. And it is one of the most clouding feelings in the human like body, in terms of shit like that. Like, you know,
But
like it just clouds people's judgment and things like that. But I do think it's Warwick. I don't think that it's Asher, only because
we saw they openly said we burned his body, we burned his shit.
yeah.
Like,
I think he's gone.
It's either Warwick or Nyolan.
I don't know if Naolan is the head sage or if he's like right underneath him. Does that make sense?
It's one of the two, I feel like.
Because I also like it can't be the sage, because the reason why I don't think that the sage is Naolan is because at the end of this book, when Xaden turns and like Violet and Taryn like see them, they see the sage.
That's true.
They see the sage, and I feel like Taryn's reaction would have been bigger, would have been more.
Yeah.
Because of how heartbroken he was over Naolan.
That's true. Now I'm just like scrolling through and reading the beginning excerpts.
Yeah, no, you're fine.
And I found it out. It's interesting.
Yeah, and it's just like I think that would really make people turn more than anything. I also see. Okay,
the last beginning excerpt. I'm so sorry.
No, we're not talking. We're not talking about it right now.
There yet.
I refuse.
We're not there yet. We have like 2 more episodes.
We're not there yet. We got like a little bit more. But also, you know, Ashley brings it up every single time when Violet wields. Now she's like, "Oh, it's coming from the ground," and I'm like,
"From the sky," because it's openly like it's from the sky, and then she's like, "Okay, I'm gonna pull it from the ground this time, so I can hit their heart." It's just interesting how she could change where it is if there's not clouds below her.
But here's the thing: is like that was the whole idea of, like that's the whole concept of the conduit.
That's true.
Like it literally is, and also like the whole concept of her being able to point and shoot at a conduit.
That's true.
Like that's literally the whole fucking theory.
I just wanted to point it out because
she loves to point it out, but I'm like, it's literally the theory of magic.
Think it's interesting because the Irids even say, like dragons pull from the ground too. It's just a siphon through.
Yeah.
So it's just interesting in how like it does say when she's pulling from the ground versus when she's pulling from the sky, like where the lightning is coming from.
Yeah. But I just think, like, directionally, I think the reason why she writes it is because either the lightning is going like this.
That's true.
Or the lightning is going like this.
Yes. It might not be nothing, but it might be something. So we had to mention it. I wanted to mention it.
Yes, Ashley wanted to mention it. But I still think that's it. I think it just is describing how the magic system works.
That's true.
As well as, like, you know, it's one of those things where I just think that because she's able to channel it. And also, like, if you think about, like, Xaden pulls shadows from the ground all the time.
That's true. He kind of pulls shadows from wherever he wants.
Yeah, and he hasn't, like, you know, done it. Like, where does ice come from if it's not cold?
Yeah.
You know? So, like,
interesting.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing to think about. But I think that I think the reason why it is noted so much is because I think she's like trying to plant the idea that all magic comes from the ground.
Yeah.
That it is like the earth is the source, regardless if you are a dragon, a griffin, or a fly, like a rider, a flyer, or a venom. Like I think it's all the fucking, like I think that's like the goal of it is to say that, like, you know.
Yeah. And
the source is always going to be the ground.
That's true. That's true. So we'll have to see. But the last point that I brought up when we were finishing the like non-spoiler section was how interesting that they're both called Venom and Dark Wielders. And if you pay attention to when it's called each, Dark Wielders is mainly when they're having a conversation or talking about it in that sense. And Venom is when they're fighting. When they know there's a war, when they know that they're about to come fight, it's Venom. But they're Dark Wielders when they're going to have a conversation with them.
Yeah, I think that's interesting. I mean, also, like, Ashley, like, kind of did bring up the point of, like, oh, maybe that's part of, like, the humanity within like riders and griffins, like in Griffin Flyers, is they trying to
because they still
justify
are, in
it
quotes,
in a way.
human. They still have human body. It just looks slightly different. So maybe it's you're up close, you're having conversation, your brain's just like, oh. Like, it's just trying to find the humanity in them. So instead of calling them this, like, evil venom, it's a dark wielder. Which is interesting that it's a dark wielder. You know? Does that make sense? Like, it's just an interesting... I never thought about it, but it is just an interesting thing that they call them.
Yeah, I think that also, like, another reason is to... I think it's because if you think... Okay. Sorry. If you think about it like this, they think of the Venon's magic as, like, impure. Like, it's tainted. It's dark. And then, you know, the magic that comes from, like, a griffin or a dragon is, you know, quote unquote pure.
Yeah.
And so, like, if you think about it, like, you know, that could be, like, white or, like, bright or... you know, something else, and this one is dark and dank. And I think, like, you know, painting the parallels of a picture of, you know, the black and white contrast, the light and the dark contrast of how it's going to fuel things, and then, you know, you like which side is which.
Yeah. Interesting.
It is. It's very interesting.
Yeah. But with that, I don't know if we have anything else really to say.
I don't think I do. Do you?
I do not. Wow. Well, thank you guys so much for joining. We love having you. If you guys can like, comment, subscribe, do all of the fun things, hit all of the buttons, download. We also do have an email list now, so if that's something you're interested in, we have a lot of fun surprises over there that we're super excited for. We also have a Buy Me a Coffee if you'd like to support us in any way. We'd really appreciate it.
Thank you guys so much for joining us. And the last thing that we gotta say to you is...
What did the void say to you?